So some common questions I've been getting recently are along the lines of, can trading make you wealthy? Can you make a living from trading? If you've been searching for those questions, I might have an answer for you. Now, it's going to be biased because I am someone who has been able to do those things for themselves, but not everyone can. But if you are here to find out if it's even remotely something that you can do, I think you've come to the right place. Hello, my name is Kyle Williams. I am a day trader for almost 10 plus years now. Been trading full time for almost 6 or 7 years now. Been able to accumulate over $7 million in trading profits. So yes, short answer is I have been someone who's been able to create wealth, create riches, so to speak, and trade for a living. There are a bunch of factors that go into those questions as if it is something, because also in short, the answer could be no for some other people. All right, so it's very dependent on the person. And so let's dive in. One, on my own personal experience, but then two, in just a general broad terms, because again, I can't answer anyone's questions on this individually, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you exactly if you're going to have this percentage of success rate in day trading or not. But what I will do is share my own story and then speak on it on a broad spectrum. So I started trading in 2016. I was a college student. I had plenty of time on my hands to do so. I had the chance to risk doing so. That is a big factor that helped me out tremendously. Now, if you're not a college student and you are, let's say, a actual adult with an actual job and actual responsibilities, right? It could be harder, but it's possible, right? It just your journey is going to be different. Regardless of the fact, though, is that over time, things are absolutely scalable in trading. Now, it's much more simpler and easier said than done because, first of all, you have to actually get a strategy going. But something I want to show you where, in a perfect example of this, is where when I first started trading, I wasn't going to pay any bills. It just wasn't going to happen, right? But that same process, that same strategies, those same outlooks in trading led to the same thing that was going to lead to wealth, prosperity, riches, trading for a living, etc. Okay. First up, I want to show you, this is a picture of my April 2018. So we're talking 7 years ago. And again, this is me now trading for almost 2+ years in now, right? So I've already got some ground under my feet. I've actually already been able to find a little bit of profitability. I was able to get through the learning curve, which again, we have a ton of videos on about. So that's not necessarily about the topic of the video, how to go through a learning curve, right? That's kind of why we teach, to help you get through the learning curve. So feel free to check out our website. But once you kind of get to some level of understanding in edge and markets, right? And you actually start gaining some profitable months behind you, this was one of my really solid months where I think this is the first time I made $3,000 in a single month. Okay. But now $3,000 a month, that's $36,000 a year. Now, in some countries, that's great. In the US, if you're US based, that's not that great. Most people cannot live on that kind of salary. At the time, again, I was living with my parents, so I totally could. But again, the world I live in now, the expenses I have now I just turned 29 a couple months ago, would be vastly different. I could not live the life I have now on just $3,000 a month. And so for some people, like I said, depending on where you are, this could be wealth for you, right? And that's kind of the first point I want to make is wealth is subjective. It is. Right? You could be a billionaire and not have enough money because you have to pay for your yachts and your mansions and your this and your that and your 1,000+ employees, but you don't feel wealthy because all your money has to be spent on other things. Or you can be someone who's a monk, doesn't even need a dollar to his dime, but he's a dollar to his name, but he's just wealthy because he has everything he needs and it's just there. So don't want to give you this very BS kind of answer, but there is a factor there. It's not necessarily a money aspect. It's what kind of lifestyle do you want? What kind of lifestyle you're looking for? And can trading give you that if you get good at trading? Okay. For me in 2018, $3,000 was great. I was stoked to have this kind of a month. Okay. If I had this kind of month now, not so much. That would not be a good thing. I'd be like, okay, I can't have a lot of months like this or we're going to be in trouble, right?
Ever dreamed of trading like one of the Clovers? Well, it all starts with choosing the right broker. Clover Trading and Cobra have teamed up to supercharge your trading experience. By clicking below, you'll unlock the power of Cobra Prime. We're talking top-tier trading tools, saving you hundreds of dollars. Get ahead with real-time scanners, cutting-edge news, 30 days of commission-free trading, 30 days of free DAS software, 60 days free of Ask Edgar, and so much more. Imagine all that, plus superior short inventory, personalized support, and interest on your idle funds. But it doesn't stop there. Cobra offers competitive pricing on locates and commissions that fit your trading style, with the ability to trade stocks, futures, options, and other products. If you're under the pattern day trading rule, Cobra has a unique solution for you. Venom, a platform designed for traders with smaller accounts to go long or short on small and mid-cap stocks. Ready to elevate your trading game and save big? Click the link below to access exclusive deals only available through Clover Trading and Cobra.
That's all great and dandy, but then in terms of just getting them this month under your belt and then ask yourself, well, can I even grow it? Can I even scale it? let's compare it to, again, like I said, to a month I had just last month, April 2025. Okay, 168,000 guys. So we're talking, God, what is that, a 50x bigger, 56, almost 60 times, 55 times more money in a single month in just, what, 7 years difference? That's like the level of expandability, of scalability that trading could bring you. And a perfect example of this, I mean, it's like, that's great, Kyle, you show me paper, but like, how does that actually work? I'll show you. This was a play on PONY. That was a breakout, right? It has an awesome breakout over mid 11s, specifically 1168 was like the last actual high here. If we zoom in a little closer, right? It's actual high. It had a fake out, so you would have maybe taken a loss. I certainly took a very small loss being it fake out. But then when I rebought it here, I actually was very, very patient and made just over like 40 or just under 50 grand on this breakout trade. Okay, that's me now, right? Why? Because I have more money, I have more risk to take, I have a bigger account, etc. Now me making 40, 50 grand is a very doable thing. Take me back to someone like 2018 me or 2017 me. 2017 me wouldn't even have traded this because I sucked at breakouts, okay? But let's take it to something like 2018 me where I was trading breakouts, I just wasn't that good yet. I would have done the same thing I just did now, except I probably wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been as patient, right? I sold the end of my shares up here in 18, so I would not have made it from mid 11s to 18 7 years ago. But I certainly could have made it from 11s to 14, 11s maybe to 15, right? So one is patience, right? I develop patience longer on trade, and the more patience I have, the more times I give kind of maybe certain stocks or setups to work in my favor. That is a factor, right? That just increases the scalability. Instead of risking more money and make more money, what if you just held for longer, right? What if you just let the move go longer in your favor? Okay, that's something to consider. But the real key part about the scalability is just adding a zero. And I don't mean adding a zero as in terms of sizing up, going from 10 shares to 100 shares to 1,000 to 10,000, because it's a very big jump. Fixing your size or your risk like that is insane. But it's really just a numbers game. So if you are a profitable trader at buying breakouts, I could have bought this breakout, again, 2018 me would have done the same thing, would have bought it in the mid 11s, risked low a day or risked some previous low. Let's actually go into the interest chart just to show you. I personally risked low of day this time, but I think you could have actually risked something even higher if you wanted a better score or more aggressive approach. To go into it, was right around here. You could have argued of risking like the 1070s if you wanted to be aggressive, right? Because in hindsight, it never went back. Some trades are not that perfect. Some trades would have stopped you out here. I was a little bit more conservative and risking all the way down to low a day. Turns out I never needed to. But either way, either approach is fine. But the point is, whether I have a $10,000 account or $1 million account, the process for a profitable trader should be fairly the same. The only difference is, like I said, patience and experience, willing to hold for longer, or more specifically and more importantly, how much are you risking and what size are you taking? Okay, $10,000 account, I might buy 100 shares. Because if I have a $10,000 account, I probably don't want to risk or lose more than $100. And let's say I am being aggressive. Let's say I'm buying it at 1170 and I want to risk 1070. I'd probably only buy 100 shares, right? I only buy 100 shares, risk $1 a share. So if I lose $100. And then let's say I'm super patient and I make my way all the way up to, up here at 14. I sell to 14. I make what? 200 something bucks, risking 100, 2.5 1 R or 2.5 1 risk reward. Okay, my $10,000 account is now $230 richer. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you do that hundreds and or thousands of times, that account is going to grow, and then you get to somewhere like I am, where I could have $1 million account at this point, and that's kind of what I do. I bought, instead of buying 100 shares, I bought 7,500 shares. So if I was going to stop out, again, I bought it like 1057, 1157, I think my entry was, and I'm risking low a day at really $10. Let's call it $1.50, just a little round down, just to make it easy, simple math. $1.50 of risk. I bought 7,500 shares. I'm risking around 11 and 12 grand. Okay, a much bigger difference than $100. Why? Because I have a much bigger account. Well, okay, I'm risking, let's round up, let's call 12 grand. I didn't sell at 14. Like I said, I had patience. That comes with the other 7 years from 2018 to 2050 or 2025. I didn't sell there. I just didn't start selling until the 16s up here, and then ultimately sold the rest at 18 plus, right? So those two factors, more size and more patience, allowed me to go from a $230 gain, which I would have taken 7 years ago, to a $8,000 gain I ended up having on this thing. Okay, a massive difference, but that's the scalability. That's the wealth difference that you can have, right? And this is just one example, but again, it's been, like I said, almost 9 to 10 years in on doing this. So I'm filling all this information into a 10, 15 minute video. It's a lot, but that, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because so many of you are just not going to believe me, but that's literally the process. It's like, can you take profitable setups enough times over and over again, well enough to have your account grow to the point where then you're able to do more size, more risk, more size, more risk. And all you know it, I can look back 7 years from now, the magnitude of differences is crazy, right? Like if 2018 me could see and look into the future of what 2025 would be, like you can't foretell this, right? You can't see this far in the future. But it's crazy the scalability and the level of wealth you can achieve. Now, the only caveat, and this goes now to my more broad answer per person, is it depends on you as a person. Me, I knew and was very confident in that process, or this process, right? If I can just keep growing my accounts and keep scaling up and growing, that level of wealth or whatever I'm looking for out of trading can be achievable. The aspect where someone might not be able to create wealth from trading, and I'm not going to answer it, is that they might not be profitable, right? We know 90% of traders are going to lose money. We know that, right? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the 10% who can make it, possibly you if you've even made it this far in this video, right? I mean, it shows me you actually want to study. If you are able to become that profitable, get in that 10%, the biggest obstacles that no one thinks about to why trading couldn't lead them to wealth is their own individual habits. And what I mean by that is, I can't tell you how many times I've seen traders go, when I make my first 50K or I make my first 100K, I'm gonna go buy this expensive thing, or I'm gonna go buy this hot sports car. And again, that's great. I've got nothing against that, except if it goes against your goals of wanting to be wealthy in your trading. Because if we know we can have our money make us more money, then spending that money on something that doesn't give you a return, like a car or like a vacation, both great things, right? Both maybe enhances your life in some way, shape, or form. But then when you look back at it, you're like, oh yeah, that $50,000 car I bought when I only had a $100,000 account, yeah, that greatly hindered me from turning that $50,000, had I kept that money in my account, to turning into $250,000, $1 million, 5, 10, whatever it may be, years down the line, right? So you kind of have to be a long-term thinker, right? I was not, if I was back here in 2020 or 2018, and I thought about just blowing this $3,000 the moment it hit my pocket, I promise you, I would have never got to here in 2025. Okay. So it's a bit of a delayed gratification and a long-term mindset. Let's play it now. Forget being in 2018, 2025, 168K. Do you think I've spent that 168K? Seriously, put it in the comment section. Do you think I spent this money this month? I did not. I didn't take it anywhere. All of this money is still in my accounts. Why? Because you can call it we'll just call them the wealth mindset. Right? I want this money to make me more money. Of course, you don't want to get caught in the rat race of just having money to have more money. Obviously, if you do have goals like buying a car, buying a home, going on an awesome vacation, yes, eventually do that, but don't get caught up in wanting to spend every single dollar you ever get your hands on, because in the event of you doing that, you end up kind of backtracking to the wealth you wanted to create in the first place. Right? It's a habit. It's a characteristic, right? I know people who will spend every single dollar the moment they get it. And it's sad because I know they're just not going to be wealthy unless they change those characteristics. Okay. So maybe a more non-trading, lesson here, but I wanted to share that because I've seen it before where there are many profitable traders out there that do very well for themselves, but then they hit the next hurdle, which is the characteristic habitual hurdle of like who they are as a person. Can they get to that, trading level of wealth that everyone talks about or dreams of? Because the answer is yes, people can get there. It's whether once they get the profitable edge trading down, do they have the characteristics or the processes outside of trading, managing their own money, that creates that wealth or not. Anyways, guys, hope this video would help. I know it's a little bit different a video. We only went into trading very briefly, but again, the edge, the trader profitable strategies, all that good stuff that actually even gets you to the problem of wanting to spend it or not, that is stuff we teach at clovertrading.io. So feel free to click the links in the bio, check out our website, do whatever you need to do. Join us on Wine Wednesday. Ton of free content out there for you guys to just get your head in the game and find that edge for yourself, and hopefully one day create trading wealth for you as well. So anyways, guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.